Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Illustration Department podcast. My name is Giuseppe Castellano. In this podcast, I talk to folks in illustration, graphic design, publishing, animation, and other creative fields about their work, the lessons they've learned, and the bumps and bruises they've experienced along the way. In this episode, my guest is literary agent and founder of Heirloom Literary and Media, Elena Giovinazzo. With a snap of your fingers, what would you change about publishing? I'd eliminate the wait with queries, contracts, payments, all of it. Among other topics, Elena and I talk about publishing's waiting game. She shares why it's normal for us to feel, quote, I don't know. And Elena and I discuss how illustrators can avoid getting buried in the querying trenches. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Publishing, there's a big old waiting game when it comes to this industry that we all know and love. You're waiting on editors to get back to you. Illustrators are waiting on you to get back to them. There's a whole lot of do this thing, then wait.
Yes, a lot of it.
Submit to art directors, then wait. Submit to agents, then wait. Agents query. The query process occurs.
Yep.
You submit to editors, and then you're waiting. And even editors end up waiting on their publisher, their editorial director, to sign off on a P&L. And there's a lot of waiting going on.
A lot of waiting.
And I'm bringing this up because one of the biggest complaints I hear from illustrators and writers is how much one has to wait to get their career started, but also throughout their career, there's a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how would this apply in other industries, and I don't think it does. For example, I have siblings and siblings in law, I think that's how you say that, who are in finance and hospitality, banking, public service, healthcare, some other industries, right?
Yeah.
In none of those industries would you ever experience someone going like, hey, why don't you email that person and wait 4 months for them to respond?
Yeah.
And have that be totally normal. Why is it normalized?
Yeah.
Why is this normal?
Oh, my goodness. We're starting off hot, and I have a lot of thoughts. And,
all right, let's go.
I was emailing just this morning with a couple of people about this very thing. I have a client who signed on an illustration project late in the summer or maybe early fall. And, the publisher wanted a really quick turnaround. And happily, she was able to squeeze it in among other big projects. And she's supposed to be turning in final artwork. And we don't have a signed contract yet. And and it's through no fault of my own. I turn around my notes on a contract within 24 hours, 48
wow.
I never want it to be held up on my account.
Okay.
Unless there's extenuating circumstances, but that's a priority to me. But then we send the note to the publisher, and it can take a month to get a response.
If you're lucky.
And this is with, me and my team, we chase aggressively. We're on top of it. We're looking weekly at where are we in any negotiation? Where are we with contracts? Where are we with payments? So we're not taking a lackadaisical, it'll come when it comes approach. We're really on top of it. And it still takes this long. And
that's what I hear.
My argument, and I've been saying this lately because it just seems to be getting worse to the publishers that I'm meeting with, the editors that I'm meeting with, the art directors, is would you do your work without getting paid?
Right.
Obviously, no.
That's a great question.
How can you expect these creators to do this work without getting paid? It's not fair. And no, everyone says, I know we're trying to get better. We're trying to get faster. They're not hiring enough contracts people. No one's doing it to be a bad person. No one's has malicious intent. But the reality is that these creatives and their work, ultimately, it feels like they're being devalued. It's demoralizing for them. It's demoralizing for the industry as a whole. I also need to add the caveat, I'm not the fastest person getting back to people, So,
Right.
so
I'm not either.
There
I'm
will
not
be
either.
people who will maybe like comment or write and be like, "She's really slow."
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm
so,
sure. I'm sure there's 3 or 4 emails that I have not responded to over the last couple months.
Totally,
for sure.
exactly. So we're all guilty of it.
Follow
I
up,
think
folks.
that, yeah, and I think I do think there's a bit of it's the culture of the industry that we have sort of allowed.
Yeah.
I think just creative industries in general, just having tangential connections to film. There's a lot of waiting in film too. Contracts can take even longer in the film industry, film and TV, than they do in publishing. You send your pitch out, people like it can take forever for anything to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not great. It's endlessly frustrating. No. I am just as guilty as other people. I mean, the part that's really been sticking in my craw is like the business side of it and the contracts and the payments. And that feels really unfair to me.
Yeah, especially when we're over the last 10 years, maybe 8 years or so, one of the larger topics of discussion in the publishing industry is supporting folks who are not in privileged positions.
Exactly. This is people's livelihood.
Yeah. And so you hear a good game.
It's not a hobby.
You read a good game on social media posts, but then it doesn't come to fruition. It doesn't materialize in just being on the ball when it comes to turning contracts around and payments to these folks who are who don't have the access and the privilege and the support that others do.
That's such a good point.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. It's true. And it's criminal how long it takes to get these things.
Right.
These things done.
I mean, do you ever?
For sure.
I can imagine if I were an agent and I had folks who I felt responsible for who needed payments for bills and, $100 here for their kid to go to some whatever, like important things. And then I'm reading on Blue Sky or some damn place that some publisher is putting out some manifesto about how their mission is to support creators, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm sitting here going like, then why have I waited 3 months for you to pay?
Like pay the ones that you've already signed, a book with.
It's got to be infuriating.
It is. It's infuriating, especially this time of year too, where you have certain things that you just want to get wrapped up, and everybody's busy, and everyone. I do believe they're doing the best that they can with what they have. But it doesn't make it okay.
No, it's not about it. And just to be clear, this isn't an attack on individuals.
Yes, exactly.
It's a critique of the system that
everyone
has since I've started in the late 90s. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
it seems like everyone's like, yeah, I know it sucks. Anyway, it's just the way it is. It's how it's always been.
Yeah,
I don't.
And it's the way it'll always be.
No, it can't be.
Which hopefully not. I try to fight the good fight when I can and when I'm in the position to do so. But
I have a good fight question for you.
Sure.
I know someone who received a verbal offer from a publisher that everybody listening knows. The verbal offer essentially was like, we love it. Let's work together and stuff. We'll send you a contract. This has now gone on 4 months. They're still waiting on a contract. So how often does this person follow up? Because another thing I hear often from illustrators is they're afraid that they'll scare off the agent or whoever they're like waiting on an answer from.
Yeah.
Well, if I follow up too much, I'll scare them away. How much is too much?
Well, so I feel like there were two parts to your question.
There's always like two parts in my question. I'm very bad. I'm very bad at like.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Too many multi-layered questions. Go ahead.
I'm going to answer a couple different ways. One, if this is a creative with a deal from a publisher, which is how the question started. Weekly. I mean, I personally at my agency, when the deal is done, negotiations and again, this is the difference between having an agent and not having an agent. You know, if I get an offer from an editor, I mean, it would never just be a verbal, we want to do this, and then wait. You know, it's like, okay, I want to do this. Here's my offer. I'm going to negotiate those deal points right away, hopefully close that up quickly. And that part usually doesn't take too long, unless it's a really big deal and they need to get approvals from different people. But, you know, for the average deal that, you know, is more standard, moderate, it doesn't take too long. And then I usually give the publisher like a 3-week grace period. And then I start chasing the contract. That, I think, is one of the places where having an agent becomes very important, because I think one of my arguments for having an agent is that you don't want, as a creative, having to have those really hard chasing financial conversations. Like, that can put such a huge damper on the creative process.
Right.
And so having that person to go in and be that bulldog and ask for all those things and make sure that you're getting what you need to have, then you're freed up to just have the nice relationship with the editor. So that's the first part. And then I feel like this question switched a little bit to like maybe a creative waiting to hear back from an agent and like scaring them away. Or again, if it's an unrepresented person writing to their editor, you know, the people who are professionals and who are really good at it aren't going to be scared away by that. They're going to understand. I think as long as you're doing it respectfully, not in a way that can feel, because I have been on the receiving end of this, where someone feels entitled to your time when you haven't even necessarily formally forged a relationship.
Right.
You know, I'm sure there will be people who listen to this who are like, oh my gosh, Elena, I was chasing you down for months. and I wasn't hearing back. And I assure you that those emails, every time I come across them in my inbox, I feel a intense shame.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. It's, there's a lot of ways to answer that, I guess, and none of them great, but you're your own best advocate.
Right.
From a creative to agent nudging. If they are all in on representing you, you'll probably hear faster. If you're not hearing, it's because, you know, they're thinking about it, which is okay. And it doesn't mean no, but, you know, sometimes we do need to think on something and see how we feel about it over time.
Switching gears a little bit here, and this is tied to waiting to hear or just hearing bad news or no news at all, I guess. You're mentioning like this time of year. I keep telling illustrators that, and this is my understanding, you tell me if I'm wrong here, that December is a really tricky time to submit to agents, even if they say they're open to submissions, because it's a lot of chasing down contracts, try to get some payments in this year for tax purposes for your clients, and end of year paperwork and tying loose ends. And so like I tell illustrators, do not submit to agents. I don't care if they're open to submissions or not. I mean, how busy is December for an agent typically? I know you can't speak for everybody, but generally speaking.
It's busy. In terms of not submitting, I think there's no good time of year, and there's not necessarily a terrible time of year. Right. There are agents who are really good at being clear on social media with what they're looking for and when, and that's certainly helpful. And there's other agents, myself included, who just aren't good at that. So, you know, it's going to be a little bit more of a crapshoot.
That's why I tell illustrators, and Elena, you tell me if I'm wrong here too. I say to illustrators, whether they're open or not open, just submit. Yeah, and if they're closed, say in your email, I know it says you're closed to submissions on your website. I thought I'd take a chance. I hope you don't mind. I would say on the conservative side, 50% of the time, they're like, I'm not closed to submissions. Yeah. They check their website and they're like, oh, shoot, I need to update that.
Oh, shoot, I am. Yeah. And even when you're closed, you know, the being closed to open, and I know you know this, and from having spoken to other agents, you know, it becomes a bandwidth thing. Yeah. And when you're open, you feel like you have to be looking and paying attention and seeing what's coming in. Right. And when you're closed, you just don't feel quite as much responsibility to be on top of it, which can be hugely overwhelming.
I know.
Yeah.
It's I know from the outside in, just letting you know, it feels so arbitrary.
It is arbitrary. I hate to say it. It's hard. It's I feel for people in the querying trenches.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I
It's
tell
really
them to break
tough.
every rule. Break every rule.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I think yes, break every rule. I'm trying to think if there's one.
Here's a rule. I'll share
Yeah.
one with you, and then you tell me,
Yeah.
actually, nope, not that one.
Okay.
There is an agent, I will not name, that I know you know for a fact. You definitely know this agent.
Okay.
No, I know for a fact you know, 100% you know this agent.
Okay.
They have on their website, I only accept exclusive submissions. Do not submit to anyone else for the next 6 weeks. Give me 6 weeks, basically, to get back to you. Then you can submit to everybody else. So an exclusive submission, send it to me only. Don't send it to anybody else. Wait 6 weeks.
Yeah.
To which I say, to hell with that.
Yeah.
So can I break that rule?
Yeah.
Thank
Go
you.
for it.
Of course
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other rules that you can't break?
Don't flood the person with queries. I will say, sometimes people do get really aggressive and
Yeah,
they'll
I'm
send
sure.
the same query every day for 2 weeks, or they send
Oh, don't do that.
10 queries for 10 different books. Just remember that we're people with busy lives and busy inboxes, and
Yeah.
we truly want nothing more than to find incredible work and to champion that work. We really, really, really do. That's what makes us most happy. There's nothing more exciting than taking on a new client that you're just absolutely thrilled about. It's also so subjective. It's so wildly subjective.
100%. Your yes is someone else's no.
Right.
And vice versa. That's just the way it is in this industry. Another frustration point, tension point, friction point, whatever you want to call it, within the publishing industry. One of the main ones is the waiting game, of course.
Yeah.
And the other is the subjectivity.
Yeah.
I spoke with someone who, an illustrator mentee who mentees over the years have said this, not a lot, not often, but quite, enough times for me to take note of it, how they will see someone else who was published or someone else who has been represented by an agent and essentially say, they suck and I don't. How come they have the thing and I don't have the thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's because this industry is subjective as hell.
Because it's subjective every time I go into a bookstore and look at what's on the shelf, and think about things that I haven't been able to place or have struggled to place. And I'm like, how did this get published? And
name names.
No,
Elena.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But
I know, I'm just kidding.
Those who know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, but it's so, and I think one of the things that people don't necessarily understand, and even my own clients, is that when if I'm out on submission with something, it's because I love it. And when I'm struggling to find a home for it, it's just as frustrating for me as it is for them, and heartbreaking and annoying to see a book that I might think is absolute garbage on the New York Times bestseller list, and I can't find a home for something that is so much better.
Yeah. On that note, another sort of pain point, that was what I was trying to get to, pain point. It's later in the afternoon. It's Monday. My brain's not working.
It's a tough time. That's okay.
It's a tough time.
Yeah. We'll be good to each other here.
Okay. And breathe.
Yes.
Another pain point I hear from illustrators who are represented is so they'll put together a dummy, beautifully constructed dummy, because I help them and everything. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's nice. It's the writing is solid. The sketches are solid. The art is solid. It's exactly where it needs to be. They give it to their agent, who then says, I don't think it's ready.
Yeah.
but then they don't really provide like a whole lot of feedback. Like, just keep tweaking it. What if you make it more, what if you make it funnier? Or what if you add this character or take this character out? And so, fine. I mean, it's not like you need to just, I get that your agent isn't always just going to be like, great, I'll sell it for you. Thanks. They're going to have opinions, especially a lot of agents who have backgrounds in the editorial world. I get it. And that's fine. But at some point, shouldn't an agent just go, well, I don't think it's there, but if you, my client, really think it's there, I will try to sell this for you. Is that not how it works?
It does and doesn't. There's multiple in my own career instances where I didn't personally love a project by a client. They felt really strongly about it. And so, I went out on submission and got a huge deal, Or it's, because again, it's so subjective. It's not my cup of tea.
Right.
Right. I love this client's work in general. I personally didn't think it was the strongest thing they've ever done. And I've been proven wildly wrong. So I think it is important. And I try to remind myself of this, and also in conversations with clients, that I'm not the be all end all of taste or what is or isn't going to work.
Right.
I work for them, but they have me to have the industry knowledge, to be talking to editors and art directors, to hear what people are saying they want, which is not always what they actually want, and to take what I say seriously, but it's not necessarily the last word on the subject. When I'm going out with something, I'm also putting my own reputation and relationships on the line. And so I need to feel like when I'm going out with a new project, the editors are going to be excited to see my name in their inbox. And if I lose that cachet, that reputation with them, then we all suffer.
Fair.
So there's a little bit of give and take.
Sure. But
also most of the times where I've thought something wasn't ready and have gone out with it anyways, we don't find a home for it because it wasn't ready.
So a few counterpoints, if I may.
Absolutely.
One, you're Elena Giovinazzo, for God's sake. So you've been around long enough that you've built the cachet to a substantial amount. In other words, like if you email an editor and it's something that the editor is like, oh my God, this is terrible, they're not going to cancel you. They're not going to say, well, forget Elena. I'm not going to field any more requests from her. They're not going to do that. Also, you're doing their job for them. So like, I don't get how picky an editor can be when what a literary agent is really doing is what they used to do back in the Ursula Nordstrom days that they no longer do.
Yeah. Well, I have some counterpoints to your counterpoints.
Love it. We're playing publishing ping pong.
We are playing publishing pickleball, if you will.
Oh God. The fact that I like that joke and you said it ages us to a certain level.
To be fair, I've never actually played pickleball, though I aspire to.
I played it twice, and it's just basically like gigantic ping pong.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't see the big deal. Anyway, it's fun though. We had a good time.
So my counterpoints.
Yes.
Let's see if I can remember what they were now. Editors are so overwhelmed with submissions too. Mm-hmm. Agents are a filter. But I can't take that for granted, because if they get 3 or 4 things from me that they like really didn't like, and might start questioning like, oh, has Elena lost it? Because they are inundated. I mean, a couple, maybe 2 years ago, mm-hmm. a very prominent, well-known editor sent out sort of a, beginning of the year, here's what I'm looking for, here's what I'm excited about, blah, blah, blah. And she does this, many different years she's done this.
Okay.
And she said that she had gotten submissions from over 1,000 different agents in the previous year, and then, she tallied up the number of things that she had gotten. It was kind of mind blowing as an agent who people do respond to, but even I get ghosted. It's a blow to my ego, but I get ghosted. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure other agents do even more because the editors are just getting so many things. There are so many agents, and you don't need any professional schooling or anything. Anyone can just kind of say they're an agent.
Okay.
So I do feel for the editors. I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that we're doing their job for them. And they have so many more meetings than they used to. And just across the board, I mean, back when I started agenting, I could manage the queries that came in day to day. I could come in the morning, and while I drank my coffee, kind of go through what had come in overnight. Mm-hmm. And then during the day, maybe 5 or 6 things would come in. Now it's like 150 a day, over the weekend, like mm-hmm. 300 queries. So the volume of everything has just exploded in the last 15 years. So I think, I know it's, I don't know if I answered your counterpoint,
you did.
But
you did. I'm going to agree to disagree on that.
Throw a bone to to the editors out there.
I get it. I get why you would want to do that. Some of them might be listening. I get it. Speaking of the early days of your agenting career, was this at mm-hmm. Pippin? Did you start at Pippin?
Yes, okay. I did start at Pippin. Yeah.
How long have you been there, or how long were you there?
I was there 13 years, I think.
Wow.
Like 13-ish, yeah.
Yeah, because you and I mean, we'd never worked together. Because I was in publishing for 20 years while you were obviously agenting.
We did, Giuseppe. We crossed paths at SNS a long time. So I started at SNS in subrights, and you were in the art department.
Did we hang out?
No,
I'm sorry if I don't remember. Okay.
That's okay. It was one of those things I was like, I wonder if he'll even know that we did.
I mean, your name was always familiar, so maybe in the back of my subconscious.
I was Elena Mecklin back then.
Oh my God.
Now do you remember?
That's amazing. Oh my God. I want to shout, and now I can't because I don't want to blow everybody's ears out. Oh my freaking God.
So you do remember that we worked together?
Yeah,
that's so funny that you didn't know I was that person.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This podcast sort of just trips me up sometimes. I swear to God.
The connections. It's such a small world. The publishing industry is very, very small.
Holy shit. Pardon my language.
That's okay. That's okay. I know. I wasn't sure if you would remember, and I did. I was, it was my maiden name back then. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. But no, we did. We crossed paths at SNS many moons ago.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, you're right. 20 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
But as an agent, art director, we never worked together.
No, we did not.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously knew who you were as a Giovinazzo. Clearly didn't know who you were.
You flatter me.
But what is one aspect of being a literary agent that you wish you had known when you started? Please note the Baltimore accent just came out there. Known.
No, I'll try to keep my Boston accent under wraps.
O's versus Red Sox, Juan.
Yeah, it's wicked awesome.
Nice. There it is. Okay, back to normal.
So, what's one thing I wish I knew?
I mean, maybe nothing. Maybe you're like, no, I got it.
It's been amazing. Like, I love what I do. And I think, if anything, it's just been better than I thought even it would be. It's a cool job. I love what I do.
This is like the most common question a lot of agents get, but I'm leading to another one that maybe not as common. What do you love most about it?
I love making, or at least trying and sometimes succeeding at making people's publishing dreams come true. Yep. Doing a deal for a new client and now they're going to be a published author. Like, that is so cool. Growing a client and seeing where they started and then seeing where they are 10 years later. And sometimes it's just mind blowing how far they've come, and knowing the work that we put in to get them there is so satisfying.
Same.
I love that. I love just putting, especially, when a client works really hard and does all the things that they're supposed to do. And sometimes clients work really hard and do all the things that they're supposed to do. And, it just doesn't, we aren't able to grow it the way we all kind of hope to starting out. But when it's working, it's just really, really happy making.
Yeah, same. I think one of my favorite aspects of mentoring illustrators is seeing that light bulb turn on, just like, oh my gosh, I finally get it now. I finally get what kind of work I want to do, from that, which is obviously incredibly important, to getting an email sometime later, unexpected email. Hey, Giuseppe, how's it going? Hope you're well. By the way, guess what? And then it's some really crazy good news. I mean, that's incredibly satisfying because I'm human. So there are times where I'm like, do I know what I'm talking about? Maybe I don't,
Oh, all the time. I always am like, I know nothing about the industry. I know nothing about agenting. I don't know what makes a good book. But I know, deep down, I know that's not true.
Yeah, but why do we do that to ourselves?
Imposter syndrome.
You feel that too?
All the time.
Clearly.
All the time.
Why?
Because...
I mean, you can talk to your therapist about this.
Yeah,
not me.
no,
we can move on.
Right. Well, I think, I just, I guess just I don't know. Yeah. Not feeling...
That's a pretty good answer. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
yeah, exactly.
Pretty accurate.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not a narcissist, I guess.
That's an incredibly good answer. Let's leave it at that. This podcast is produced by the Illustration Department, a global leader in online education for illustrators. Visit illustrationdept.com for offerings like mentorships and portfolio reviews, testimonials, our alumni showcase, our best-selling Substack, and more. That's illustrationdept.com. And now, back to our conversation. You founded Heirloom Literary and Media in 2024.
Yeah.
A little over a year ago, as of this recording. How's it going?
It's going really well.
All right.
I mean,
you gonna update that website anytime soon, or
it's
gonna leave it a mystery?
No, it's we haven't officially launched, but hopefully are doing it in like sometime this week. But it's populated. If you go back, it's all
really?
there. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This is this is late breaking news. I know. We just have one little thing that we're trying to fix before we post about our beautiful new website, but it's there, and so hopefully we're a little less mysterious than maybe we were for this first year. But it's gorgeous, designed by the team at Golden Launch, who are incredible. If you have any creatives looking for a website designer, there's my little plug for a friend.
Nice. Perfect.
But I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud with how it turned out, and mostly proud of the incredible clients that I represent and who are on this awesome journey with me and with Jason. I just feel really lucky to have them in my life.
Yeah, you just casually dropped Jason's name, like, with Jason, whatevs. Jason Reynolds.
Yeah.
How are your roles defined, or are they quite? I mean, it's been a year, so I assume they are.
So, I mean, yes and no. He's not involved day to day.
Yeah,
partially just having someone to do this with has been really wonderful. And in reality, he and I have been in business together, since I signed him, and we've approached his career in a really business-minded way. And so it kind of felt like an extension of that.
Yeah.
His role is, he's mentoring and he's helping clients with certain projects. And I think as we grow, his role will become bigger. This first year has been a lot of just like nuts and bolts and getting this thing off the ground. But, he did the website. He took that on, and that was really his baby. That was a part of it that he felt like he could really contribute to. He maybe couldn't contribute to like figuring out our boilerplates with all the publishers, but he could do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Based on the website, here it says at Heirloom, she looks to grow and nurture the work and careers of top talent, be they writers, artists, or both. My reading comprehension may not be the greatest, but you represent writers, you represent illustrators, and you represent illustrator writers.
Yeah.
Okay. Just double checking there for folks listening.
I do.
Taking
Yes.
notes, hopefully.
Yeah.
So another common piece of I'm sort of channeling a lot of these conversations that I've been having with illustrators who are submitting to agents and through this conversation and onto you. And I apologize because it is a weight it's a little unfair weight that I'm asking you to carry here, speaking for all agents and whatever.
Well, just, I know you've had some agents on here. Just keep having more so I don't have to speak for everybody. Yeah.
And also sort of shake this weird, I've heard several illustrators go like, oh, I know you don't like agents. I'm like, who told you that? You did on your podcast. Oh, shit. Maybe I need to be more careful with my words because I don't hate agents. I don't like the system that forces illustrators and writers to have to wait. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. But that's not what I want to talk to you about here. To that quote, nurture, grow.
Yeah.
How much of an agent's role do you feel, how do I phrase this question? When it comes to the shaping and guiding of a creator's career, how much of that is your responsibility and how much of it is their responsibility?
It's a shared responsibility for sure.
90-10. No, I'm kidding.
It depends on the client. I mean, some people come in just with such a clear vision of who they are and what they want to do. Some people don't. I mean, there's also nothing better than someone coming in thinking they want to do this one thing and then over time challenging themselves to try new things and push themselves. And, truth be told, across the board, whether it's an author or an illustrator or an author illustrator, I want to be representing people who are challenging themselves and, thinking maybe there was a type of project they didn't want to do, but then they tackle it and it turns out that they're really good at it. If you're just doing the same thing over and over again, that's not going to be super fun in the long term necessarily.
Okay.
My clients are the boss.
So we've answered that question.
Corner.
Who's the boss? You answered that one.
but I mean, at the end of the day, it's their name on the book. And I, when things come up with their publisher, that's the line that I kind of stand behind too. Even in contracts with having approvals over the title or the choice of the artist, etc. At the end of the day, it's your name on the book. The publisher's going to move on the next season. They're going to have, 250 more books that they're publishing, and that book will be on your shelf forever.
Exactly.
So it's got to be something that you feel really good about.
Was Angarad your boss at SNS?
No, she was not. We worked. By the time I started, I was working more. I worked under Beth Sue Rose, and I was I know. We could do a whole podcast.
Character. Oh my God! I haven't thought about.
I know, Beth.
Holy criminy!
Yes. Yeah. So I was working under Beth, doing more scholastic things.
Okay. And I was just trying to plot where you sat. And
I sat across from Beth Sue Rose, but then I only worked for Beth for 6 or 7 months, and then I got poached by marketing.
Gotcha.
I reported directly into Karen Frangipane.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Such. It's like I haven't, it's like you haven't thought of a name in 20 years, and all of a sudden it's like you said that the minute that last name was finished, I'm like, yep, I
know exactly.
All the emails, all the meetings. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you had emails from me asking for so we could make our marketing materials.
Oh no, that's 100%. That's how I'm visualizing when you said your last name. Like, yep, I can see the email. I literally see the email that you sent me.
An invitation to a marketing meeting.
Amazing. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, nice to see you again, or hear your voice again.
Chat
again. Okay, back to the listener here. If you could, with a snap of your fingers, change one thing about either the definition of a literary agent, or maybe even better, the responsibility of a literary agent, one aspect of being an agent, or one aspect of the publishing industry at large, and you could change it in a second with a snap, what would it be?
The waiting, for sure.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
The waiting is infuriating. I don't think I have a good answer for this one, Giuseppe. There's so many things that are really annoying. I'm just curious, and with a snap of the fingers, I think is the only way you could ever do it. What would happen to this industry if the publishers no longer accepted returns?
Oh my gosh. Another 2.5 hour long
I know,
podcast
which
episode.
Is just something I've been thinking about a lot. And I don't know why we accept returns. It's the worst and makes no economic sense. No other industry accepts returns.
Okay, so just really quickly, 10 seconds for the listener.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yes. So returns, when your publisher sells your book into Barnes & Noble or Amazon or your local independent bookstore.
Let's say 10 copies or 100 copies.
10 copies. So your local bookstore takes 10 copies of a book.
Yep.
They only sell 2 copies. Yep. They can at some point decide, we don't want to stock these anymore. We don't have room for them in our back room. We're going to send them back to the publisher and get our money back.
Now, it's not all of the money back, right?
It's not all. I don't even know, to be quite honest, which is a little embarrassing to admit.
It's my understanding that it's not.
Most of it.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's not 100%.
But it's a lot of it.
It's a lot, yeah.
Really, we're all just like assuming that these books are going to sell, and then they don't, and so they come back, so then they become a problem for the publisher to warehouse. They might be damaged. But then also trying to figure out advances, and a publisher might pay $1 million for a book they think is going to sell really well, and then it doesn't, and all those copies come back, and that looks even worse for the writer. Whereas in any other industry, like if Mattel sells Target 100 Barbies, and Target doesn't sell those Barbies, then they put them on the clearance rack, and that's Target is ultimately responsible for their sell-through.
Yeah.
Whereas books, the publisher is ultimately responsible for the sell-through in a way that just makes the industry really complicated to figure out how a book is going to do.
Right. And this is why novels, the covers are ripped off of novels and the interiors are tossed away.
Yeah.
And the covers are returned or scanned or something for returns, right?
Or is that
unrelated?
I don't know.
You know how novels on the inside, it's like if this you see it's either on the copyright page or on the inside of the cover, where it's like if you receive this and something about the cover being doctored or the cover is missing, it's not like you're not supposed to buy it.
Oh.
And so they rip the covers off, and you're supposed to throw away the interior. But what tends to happen is they'll sell the interior. They'll sell the text, but the cover is missing, and they'll return the cover to the publisher and then sell the interior. Not saying all booksellers do this, but it's a fear.
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it to a really deep degree, but it just seems to me like a really bad business model.
Speaking of bad business models, my snap of the finger would be the numbers would be flipped around so that first of all royalties would be gross, not net.
Uh-huh.
which is something I'm sure you
Yeah.
have to fight.
Yeah.
Publishers will say, oh, we'll pay you a royalty, like you're one of your clients, a writer or an illustrator, both 10% royalty, but it's on net. So they take all the profit. They take,
Yeah.
oh, we need to pay our electricity bill. We got to do this. So you sell a book for $20. At the end of the day, it's like $2. And then basically your client is the last person to get paid.
Yes.
And that's not what you want. You want gross. You want to be the first person. So like automatic across the board, everything's gross. Then my other thing I would snap is every book deal, the creator should get the majority. So like, yeah, they get the advance, but why is it a 10% royalty rate? Why isn't it a 75 or 70% royalty rate?
My understanding from just having conversations with publishers and editors and people in finance over the years in the contracts department is that the sort of, 10% of, and most publishers, the most reputable, big, certainly the big five,
Right.
You are getting 10% of the cover price, no matter what the publisher is selling the book into that retailer for. You're getting 10% of the $18.99
Right.
or whatever the jacket price is.
Right.
The publishers say that by the time they pay for the warehousing and the marketing and the electricity and all those other things, it is about an even profit share.
Yeah, I've seen the P&L statements.
Yeah. So that in theory, and that's what they say. Again, do I know enough about what is going on in the finance departments to say whether that's true? I don't.
Right.
I just know that, I've been fighting the good fight on the best royalties I can get for my clients for a long time. And it just, that sort of standard basic 10%, there are escalations from there, but that's kind of where you're going to be.
Right. Like, give me one example of an escalation. Like, is it 25% for foreign edition, something like that?
I mean, so the royalty escalation is more so, you get 10% on, say, the first 50,000 copies of the book that you sell. And then after you've sold 50,000 copies of that book, you might go up to 12.5%.
Oh, it doesn't go that high. Okay.
It's very rare to go too much higher than
Even
that.
for like foreign editions and...
So for foreign editions, so then that's like you get a split, but then again, those are net. So say your publisher they sell the German rights to your book to a German publisher for $1,000, the client gets 75% of that.
Okay.
And the publisher keeps 25% of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the standard split.
Yeah. How healthy is the publishing? Let's just stick to children's publishing. How healthy is the children's publishing industry, in your view, over the last couple of years?
It had been great.
Right.
Everything is so cyclical. Word on the street and my personal experience, middle grade is not doing well right now. I don't have any insight into why that I can really lean on. Discoverability is hard. The New York Times bestseller list has 15 books on it that rotate through, or 15 authors. And there's just, like, if you're not one of those authors, it's almost impossible to get on there. And that's where a lot of people kind of discover new things.
I have a discoverability question for you.
Yeah. Okay. Lay it on me.
I remember when I was at S&S and at Penguin, I'd be in the marketing meetings.
Yeah.
We would essentially have like a piece of paper, a list of what the marketing department is planning on doing for any given book. And this is usually early on in the process.
Yep. And as a marketing assistant, I was the one putting those
You're
together.
handing it to us. You're saying, here's what we're planning on doing.
Yeah.
When you look at it and assume that every one of the things in it are going to be done, it's pretty substantial and you get all excited. Mm-hmm. Interviews and podcasts, and at the time it wasn't podcast, but now it is. As part of the overall like acquisition process, the marketing department will, you correct me at any stage here, the marketing department will sort of include into the acquisition process, oh, and by the way, we're going to do X, Y, and Z when the book is released, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't get done.
Yep. Accurate.
What the hell, Elena?
Have certainly had things where they're bought at auction or it's a big preempt and the publisher has a lot riding on, financially, they've put a lot of money into it. And then it comes, editorials happen and now the book's coming and it feels like the marketing plan is not anywhere close to robust enough to come close to earning back that advance, which ultimately, it's money lost for the publisher, but then it can make it hard to negotiate the next book deal for the author because in-house the book might be considered, quote unquote, a failure is a strong word, but it didn't perform as hoped for. Mm-hmm. It's so subjective. The industry is so fickle. When there was the big...
Whew, I thought you were going to drop an F-bomb there for a second.
Would not be out of character. I love a good F-bomb. But no, when there was the antitrust case when PRH was trying, listening to these CEOs get up there and try to describe like what makes a bestseller, like you can't, it's so if we knew how to manufacture bestsellers, we would be doing it all the time, but we don't know how, and so people's interests move on. They've acquired something else in the 3 years since they bought your book that just kind of took up all the marketing money. They can, when I was in marketing, would watch publishers pour money into the marketing and publicity of a book, and it still doesn't perform. So, like, the unfortunate truth is that publishing is kind of a crapshoot also, and
it's a gamble.
It's a gamble.
It's been that forever.
And again, I do think that the marketing departments are doing the best with what they have and the information that they have. But at the end of the day, you kind of don't always know what's going to hit and what isn't.
I guess the snapping of the finger thing for the marketing department is just do what you said you were going to do.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Isn't it, Elena, with all due respect, isn't that your job? I have an agent, like let's say you're my agent and that's happening and you and I have a book out and stuff.
Yep.
And the marketing department who had promised us a year ago or 2 years ago, X, Y, and Z, haven't done X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to call you or text you and say, hey, Elena, remember when they said they were going to do this and this?
Yeah.
They haven't.
Yep.
When do I, as the creator, take matters into my own hands versus, hey, Elena, do you mind like checking in with them and asking them like, why haven't they done any of these things?
Yeah.
Like whose responsibility is it when it's pre-order window time?
Yeah.
At that point, isn't it like the marketing department takes the reins at that point and says, hey, we're the marketing department. Remember us?
Yeah.
Your book is now in pre-orders. Let's do some cool stuff.
Best case scenario, yes. The departments are just strapped. I also feel very strongly that publishers publish way too many books. So like way too many books. They can't possibly publish that many books well, and they don't. And even you can have a really well-known, quote unquote top tier agent who knows how to do this and knows how to push. Most of my books, I get the marketing plan and it's like, there's not much there. And like, there's not always anything you can do about it. And there have been books that I have gone to bat for and have like pulled in my favors, have like called and be like, come on, like I'm begging you, do this thing for this book. And it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking. I come up against it more than I would like to admit. All agents do. One piece of advice that I do give all of my clients is that at the end of the day, you're the only person waking up every morning thinking about your book. Everyone else is thinking about, I'm thinking about a certain number of books, and then your publisher is thinking about that times 10 or 100 even. So, some people are really good at self-promotion and marketing their book, and some people aren't, and that's okay. Yeah. Again, like all of these things are not okay, but they're just part of it is the reality. And a good agent is on top of it and is pushing, but sometimes, there's only so much we can do.
I know. It's like, it's just funny that they, you're catching them in a lie, basically. It's like, hey, remember when you literally told us you were going to do this for us, and you're not doing
yes.
it.
Well, I will also, I think, when I started doing this, you got more marketing plans. Now the publishers do not give marketing plans as part of like the acquisition anymore. Okay. Like if there's even a big auction, they are very, very wary, because I think that's happened too many times. They, promise the moon and then they don't come through.
Right. This might drive you crazy. I get a lot of emails from the publicity departments, not marketing, although some marketing, I guess, but mostly publicity. They're doing their job. They're emailing me, a podcaster, and saying, we have this book. It's from this creator. Would you like to talk to them?
Yeah.
On your podcast? My policy, it's been this way since the beginning, is no. I don't say yes to those things, just because I don't want that to be whatever the tenor of the podcast. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I'll open up that part of it, but that's not the point. The point is these emails are not well written.
Yeah.
They're not, hey, Giuseppe, how are you? Here's this creator. It's Dear Illustration Department Podcast. This creator is a writer who creates things and writes things about things, and it just goes right into it. It's templated.
Yeah.
And they clearly haven't listened to one minute of my podcast. So why would I say yes to that?
Again, I mean, I just doing too much with not enough resource. Publicity and marketing serve different functions, but they all, are helping promote the book.
Right. Marketing is what you do for yourself. Publicity is what other people do for you.
Kind of, but marketing is usually paid. Publicity is free.
There you go. That's better.
Very broadly.
That's what this podcast subtitle is. We talk about publishing very broadly.
Huge generalization.
And mental health. Don't take any mental health tips from us whatsoever. Seek a professional.
Seek a professional. They are spread thin and trying to cast as wide a net as possible. I know. And I say this, I mean, I have great affection for many publicity people in this industry who have done so well by certain clients, and knowing that, other people won't get the special treatment because they just can't do it for everybody.
Right. And hey, maybe I'm being a hypocrite for someone who's been basically ragging on this for 45 minutes and then turning around and saying, I'm not going to talk to anybody on my podcast about their books.
Well, but that's well within your right, because you get to decide what you want your podcast to be.
Right. It's invite only.
And
I've made an exception 3 times.
Yeah. And it's you that you're allowed to hold that boundary.
Yeah, I guess.
Because you don't want to feel like
I just don't want it to be like freaking Jimmy Fallon. Like, oh,
exactly.
What?
Exactly.
You have a clip? What a surprise!
Yep.
Why don't we go ahead and play it randomly? I don't
let Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. Be Jimmy Fallon.
There you go.
You're not Jimmy Fallon.
No, I'm better looking. Speaking of good looking, so one of the things that I hear often from illustrators is they hear from their agents or from other folks who have platforms, professional advice givers and that in order to break into publishing or at least be represented by someone like yourself, you need to, quote, raise your platform on social media. How important is a social media platform really? Is a small platform cause for rejection?
To me, no.
Okay, great.
I personally don't take that into consideration.
I mean, you're awesome.
Thank you. Like if I'm really seriously considering taking someone on, I will look at their social media just to make sure that they're not a cuckoo person.
Ooh, describe cuckoo person. No, don't do that. We don't have the time.
Yeah, exactly. Or, I'm making sure that their presence online is not offensive to me or to people that I care about.
Let me tell you about all Southern Italian people. They all stink.
Yeah.
That's my husband you're talking about.
Exactly. To me, it's not important to me. There is value to it. It's not the end all be all. I think for adult nonfiction, it is hugely important. Like your social media presence can make or break the project. For illustrated picture books, I don't know if I could think off the top of my head of a creator whose social media presence is important to their success. Like they have success because of their social media presence.
Oh, I can think of two.
Will you name names? I'm so curious.
100% no.
Okay. Offline.
But they're both awful.
Yeah, exactly.
The work is awful.
Their work is awful. Right. Well, right. Because the social media comes first, not the work.
Yeah. But they have book deals.
But they have book deals. Yeah.
Make of that what you will.
Yes. I guess I can think of a couple people for whom that's the case.
Yeah.
Your social media should feel like you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I am terrible at social media. And I
well, shouldn't you not be? I mean, as a literary agent, shouldn't you?
I should be really good at social. I mean, some agents are, and that's a big part of how they get clients. And I'm probably missing out on a lot of clients because I don't have good social media. I was in college when Facebook started. Like my school was like the fourth school on Facebook. And so like to me, it feels like this personal thing. Like I want the people following my Instagram to be my friends and people that I actually know, not.
Yeah, but Heirloom has a page.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And there was nothing there until I hired Julia, who's wonderful at social media, and started posting. And now we have great social media. When it was just me and Jason, there was nothing.
I'm so sorry. Here's my last unfair question to you.
Yeah.
Let's say you're reviewing someone and you're on the fence and you're like, actually, this is really good. Let's say it's an illustrator.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I really have the room and bandwidth? But man, this is good. I don't know. Maybe yes. And then you go to their social media and they have 20,000 followers. Is that an automatic like, well, shit, maybe I need to think about this?
No.
I believe you. Truly.
Yeah. No, and I mean it. I mean it.
Good.
Yep.
There's some integrity in the world. Well, we have so much more to cover, but we've run out of time.
I feel like this is going to be a random one. I don't know how you're going to tie any of this together. I feel like it was pretty.
My editorial
pretty
skills.
wide ranging.
Nah, I'll square it away. Don't worry. Don't you worry about that. I might send illustrators your way from time to time.
Yes, of course. Please do. Please do. I
know quite a few pretty great ones that I think you'd be into.
That is awesome. I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
I'll send you illustrators that if I were to be an agent, which I had some dreams and I
was going to say, have you ever thought about it?
Yes, I have.
Any aspirations?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, 100%.
Why
I even
not?
had everything designed. I was ready to go. Literally hit one button. I chickened out because it's really hard.
You think this is easier than being an agent?
What do you mean? What's this?
Like what you do now?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I don't have to read contracts every day. I don't have to chase payments. Yeah. How many contracts do you read a month?
To be fair, I have awesome lawyers that I work with.
Nice.
Who do the heavy lifting.
Props to outsourcing.
So that is an important outsource. But when they send me their notes, I review. I mean, I'm very involved, and I can read a contract. I did have excellent contract training, and I can do it myself. It's not worth my time to do it myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's not that I wouldn't love it. I think I would love it. And I also have very good taste, so I think I'd be pretty good at it. I'm also very full of myself. No, I'm kidding. But I just think, honestly, all jokes aside, I wouldn't be able to square doing this, charging people for mentorships and portfolio reviews, and then being a literary agent.
You couldn't do both.
No.
You could not do both.
And there's no way in hell I'm doing anything. This is like the illustration department is like the purest most
Yes.
successful thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm not going to do anything to fuck it up. Pardon my language.
No. Yeah. It's a incredible resource.
Thank you. I'm going to quote you and put it on my website. Like a starred review.
Starred review. 5 stars.
Yeah. Giovinazzo and the 2 Z's will be stars.
Ooh, I like that.
I thought you would.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
So, it's agenting's not easy. It's a hard. It can be a great way to make a living. It can be a really hard way to make a living.
Yeah, definitely.
It can be tricky to scale.
I don't know if this is a real job, but one thing I would love to do, and I'm not saying this to be like, hey, Elena, think of me. Seriously. But I think it'd be kind of a cool job, and I think would be helpful for agencies is to hire a consultant who would essentially like look for illustrators or writers for them.
Like a scout.
Yeah, a scout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like essentially, this is like baseball. You've got agents, you got the players, and you have the scouts.
Yeah. It is overwhelming, the number of people out there looking to be agented. And, we're technically close to queries right now. And we opened a couple of months back. And I mean, the number that we got was overwhelming, but I don't know if you're going to include this or not. I didn't take on a single illustrator because I didn't find a single person in there.
Oh, that's gonna end like the minute this episode airs.
No, but I got so many, but nothing.
That's what I'm saying. People who listen to this podcast are excellent illustrators.
Are good. Yeah. Okay. Well, send them my way because I love taking on a new client. I don't do it very often, but I love to do it. And
all right, you heard Elena, folks.
Yeah.
Get those query letters ready. Can I ask you a really quick question, and then I'll let you go? I swear to God.
Okay.
When I talk to illustrators about query letters, or whatever you want to call them, just emailing you, hey, I'm an illustrator, here's my stuff. I often say to them, the first paragraph should be about you as a human being. In other words, like, you tell me if this is unacceptable or acceptable. My template would be, hi, Elena. My name is Giuseppe Castellano. I'm an illustrator and writer and whatever, podcaster, whatever. Based out of where I'm based out of, Pennsylvania. When I'm not creating or writing or illustrating, I'm usually taxiing my kids around town or looking for ways to keep the deer from eating my hydrangeas. Period. The next paragraph would be who I am as a creator. Here's my book. Here's what my book is about, et cetera, et cetera. But is that first paragraph, is that okay?
It was too much information. That doesn't.
You provide too much information, Elena. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I know. The first thing I'm going to do is click on the link to your portfolio.
Of course you will.
And so none of the rest of that will matter.
It matters to me. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
None of that will matter until I look at the artwork.
Okay.
When I'm opening my query inbox, there's an overwhelming number of queries in there. So remember that.
That's the reason I say to illustrators, start with who you are as a person. And maybe a little personal trivia, maybe a little humor, a little charm.
If you can do it well.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to do a thing on queries, and what I ended up doing, I talked about them a little bit, but then I just started reading what was in my inbox, and I had people raise their hand when they would have just hit delete. And it's early, and it is early for, you get bored, you get, I don't need to know about your hydrangeas to know whether.
Rude.
Because the work's going to come first, and then I'll get to know you, and I will care so much about your hydrangeas.
You should. They're pretty.
But if the work isn't speaking to me, the hydrangeas don't matter.
That's a pretty damn good quote right there. If the work doesn't speak to me, the hydrangeas don't matter. That's incredible. I might have that tattooed on my arm later.
It's true. It's true.
All right. We do have a lot of illustrators and writers listening. Is there any quick, because we're so over time here.
Mm-hmm.
What piece of advice or word of wisdom would you like to share with them outside of everything you've already shared?
make your work distinctive. I mean, when we were open to queries and all this, so much of the art looked exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Different agents want different things. I want to look at a jacket across the room and know who the illustrator is. Mm-hmm. With so much of what we were seeing, that wasn't the case. It all felt like they took the same online class.
Not from the illustration department, of course.
And not from the illustration department, of course. Yeah. Very generic, unfortunately. So yeah, figure out what your art style is and lean into it.
To learn more about Elena and Heirloom, visit heirloomliterary.com. If you find value in this podcast, you can support it by subscribing to my best-selling Substack. For $5 a month or $50 a year, you will access hundreds of articles on the art, practice, and history of illustration, unlock bonus podcast episodes called Extra Credit, and connect with other members of the ID community. Join me on Substack by visiting illustrationdept.substack.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.